This is the next video in the series JUZ Gems, and this is Juz 12, which consists of Surah Hud and Surah Yusuf. And of course, read the notes, read the juz. The juzzes seem like they're getting longer. It might be that the verses are getting longer. So I would encourage to read the verses because it's hard to encompass all of that in one video that's not too long. And so let me begin. From verses 6 through 14 in Surah Hud, it starts off by saying that no creature gets provision from other than the one that knows their dwelling and knows their grave, and the one who created the heavens and earth. And so pretty much what that means is that no one gets anything except from Allah. And then from verses, of course, there's more between these verses, but that seemed to be the major concept to me. And from verses 15 through 24, it says, it explains that the believers and the disbelievers are like the deaf and the hearing, the seeing and the blind, and those are not equal at all. And so then from here, this is when the rest of the surah mainly talks about the people of the past. From verses 25 through 49, it speaks of the people of Noah, in which Noah came to his people as a plain warner, asking for no reward. He told them to believe, and of course, they did not believe, and they actually questioned the validity of the message, and they asked for the torment from Allah. And very few of his people actually believed, and they are washed away in the flood. Along with those people were his son. And Allah told Noah that his family and those who believed would be saved. And so Noah did question why his son was not saved. But Allah says to not question that which you do not know, and that his son was not of his people, but his son was a disbeliever. And then goes on from verses 50 through 60 about the people of Ad who were sent Hud, and Hud told them to, Hud also asked for no reward, and he told them to believe in Allah, and that if they ask Allah for forgiveness, Allah will send rain and give them more strength. But they claim that Hud had no evidence, it was possessed by their gods, but of course, Hud was not possessed by their gods, and Allah is on the straight path, and nothing that they attributed to Allah could harm Allah. And of course, the promise came to them, and um, they were destroyed. And from verses 61 through 68, Allah speaks of the people of Thamud who were sent their brothers Saleh, who told them to worship Allah, ask for forgiveness, and to turn to Allah in repentance. But they questioned Saleh and were asking him, why now did he decide to go against what they've always believed, which is what their fathers worshipped? And so the she camel came as a sign to them. They were told not to kill it. They killed it, and then the promise of Allah came, and those people were destroyed. And it was as if they never even lived there. And then from verses 69 through 83, Allah speaks of the messengers of Lut who visited Abraham and gave him glad tidings of a son to his old wife. And of course, his glad tidings was Ishaq, which then brought on Jacob. And it's pretty cool because it's like Isaac, then Jacob, and then of course the next story is about Yusuf, which is Jacob's son. So it's kind of like an order. Allahu Alam for sure. I just like how it's like that. And Abraham even prayed for the people of Lut, but the promise of Allah is guaranteed, and those people were destroyed because they practiced their lust on women with men. Their whole town was turned over, and it rained stones of clay. And then from verses 84 through 95, it speaks of the people of Midian who came their brother Shuaib, who told them to worship Allah, to not commit mischief, and that everything that Allah has is definitely better for them. But they questioned him, and they asked if he was telling them to leave off what their fathers had told them. Um, and of course, um, he even warned them that if they continue with what they're doing, they'll have the same end as the people of Noah, the people of Hud, the people of Saleh, and the people of Lut. But of course, um, they disbelieved, and they even stated that they would have killed Shuhaib already if it was not for his family. But obviously they believed in family more than they believed in Allah. And some even say that Shuaib was blind, and so that also caused them to think that he was weak and disbelieve. And so they were destroyed, and it seemed as though um, the people never even lived there. So away with the Median people and the Thamud people. And then Allah from verses 96 through 99 speaks of Moses and how he sent the ayahs to Moses, to Pharaoh and his chiefs, um, but they did not believe, and the people followed the command of Pharaoh. And wow, imagine the curse on them on the day of judgment. And then from verses 100 through 108, Allah pretty much tells us that these were the news of the towns and they've come as a lesson to the rest of the people, and that Allah did not wrong them, but they wronged themselves. And so when the day of judgment comes, no one will be able to delay it. No person will be able to speak except by Allah's means. And the people who were cursed will be the people of hell, and the people who were blessed will be the people in Jannah, in which they'll live forever. And then from the end of the surah, from verses 109 to 123, Allah tells us, and of course Muhammad ﷺ, to not doubt what the pagans worshipped. It was nothing than what their fathers worshipped. And they will be repaid in full for what they worshipped. So Allah tells the believers to stand firm, and straight, and do not incline towards those who do wrong, unless you, of course, don't want to go to Jannah. Allah tells us to offer our prayers, to do good deeds, which get rid of the bad deeds, and Allah saved those before us who did have wisdom and who did prohibit the bad and did not pursue the enjoyment of this world. And Allah never destroyed a town wrongfully. So that's very key to key in on, is that it wasn't like Allah was this evil thing, astaghfirullah, trying to destroy these people, but the people in fact destroyed themselves. And so that ends and it's of course it's I can't talk. It's very important to remember that everything that Allah says is true, and everything in the unseen and the seen, in the heavens and the earth, is belongs to Allah, and we need to put our trust in Allah. And then begins Surah Yusuf. It starts off Alif Lam Ra. These are the verses of the clear book of the Arabic Quran, which in order that we may understand. And so from here, it starts verses 4 all the way to the end of this juz, which is verse 52, and it speaks of the story of Yusuf. Yusuf was able to see dreams as the offsprings of Jacob, Abraham, and Isaac. Um, and so this is one of the things he was able to do. But and then it goes on to say that his brothers plotted against him to throw him in a well. So then one day they go to his dad Jacob and they're like, "Hey, we want to take our brother out to play." And the dad even questioned it, thinking that he would be eaten by a wolf. So the brothers take him out to play. They throw him in a well. They bring back his shirt, saying that he was eaten by a wolf. But even the dad still questioned that. And of course, patience was most fitting for the situation. And then a caravan of travelers find Yusuf. They sell him for a small price and to a man in Egypt. And this is where Yusuf was established, and when he attained full manhood, this is where the main story that most people know of begins. The king's wife tries to seduce Yusuf, and of course Yusuf runs away from her, busts through the doors, and his shirt is torn. And so then there's her husband. She claims that Yusuf was the one trying to seduce her, but of course his shirt was torn from the back, therefore claiming that she was trying to seduce him. So then the women were like, "Oh my God, she was trying to seduce a slave." Good God, who tries to do? You know what I mean? It's like today if the first lady tried to seduce like a low I don't know, we don't have slaves, a low life, like a low life. It's like, oh my God, like really? So then what she does is she plans like a little banquet and shows Yusuf off to the women, and the women are holding knives and they cut their hands, their arms, due to his beauty. And so she's pretty much like, come on, how could I not want to seduce a man that looks like him? And of course we know that Yusuf was the most beautiful man ever. And so then she pretty much gives him a choice. He either, lets her seduce him, or he goes to prison. And of course, Allah did not let her fulfill her plots. Yusuf chose prison because he believes in Allah, and he seeked refuge with Allah. And so then in the prison, Yusuf interprets dreams. And of course, we know from before that he's able to do that. He interprets dreams, And one day the king wants someone to interpret his dreams. Yusuf interprets his dreams, and then the king asks for Yusuf. And when the king asks for Yusuf, Yusuf questions the king and asks what happened to the ladies who cut their arms. And then of course the truth comes out that his wife was the one who tried to seduce Yusuf. And so then and Yusuf asked the king this, and in order for the king to know that he did not try to betray him. And so this is where the juz ends. There's many details within that story that I did not explain, but of course it's for the sake of this video being shorter and to encourage people to actually read the juz. One thing I did want to discuss, this is a little off topic, is that we have come to almost the halfway point in Ramadan, and I know that many of us cannot drop our whole entire lives, because I know a lot of people, they have the ability to just quit their jobs and go read Quran all day, pray all day. They have the ability to go to Taraweeh every night. But some of us, we do have jobs that we can't quit. We have family obligations. We have many things that we have to do, and so we can't just drop our lives and read Quran and pray and do all of these things that we do see other people doing. But I would like to say that don't lose the enthusiasm that you had at the beginning of the month, because you've now realized that a lot of the things that you did plan for the month um might not be able to be fulfilled. But just stick with it, and inshallah you will complete all of your goals. And remember that Ramadan is not about finishing the Quran, and it's not about praying. Of course praying is extremely important if it's for the right reasons, but Tawhid does not make Ramadan, and neither does reading the whole entire Quran make Ramadan Ramadan. What makes Ramadan Ramadan is that you, inshallah, you attain taqwa and your iman increases. And so whatever you do this Ramadan, make sure that that's your goal, and your goal is not only to finish the Quran or go to the masjid every night. And so I just wanted to say that, because I know I've seen a lot of people who because this is like the discouragement time during Ramadan, when everyone's like, dang, all my goals are going downhill. But remember that you still have um the rest of it to go, and you still can attain your goals. And remember the very basic things like being good to people and all of that. Make sure those are a part of your goals too, and not only just trying to do something, but also let's try to fix something about ourselves. Thank you very much for listening to this Juz Gems. I hope that it did help. Remember that there are many details that I did not include, and inshallah you do read the Juz, and may Allah help those people who are in strife right now, and may Allah accept our fast from all of us. Thank you so much. Have a great day in Ramadan, and again, please make dua for your ummah, and assalamu alaikum.